desperate black cinema, black this, black that. He just calmly rides the wave, telling a human story. Yesterday, I cried in one of the films when I saw a father, thought he lost his daughter. And it's in a park, and how he presented it, the editing, just got to me. Although I've seen the film many times, and I was, in tears. And so for me, he also tells his story with whatever resources he has. He doesn't wait. I say this, it's important to me. As a teacher who taught at Howard University for 43 years, I know many people who wait. I know now if I go to California and I'm at Sony Pictures, across Sony Pictures, there's a Starbucks, there's a Howard film graduate flipping, losing his head. And I've been seeing him every time I went to get coffee there. I would see him in that coffee shop with a laptop telling me, Garima, my film, my script, Garima, my next script. And then it went on for years. And the last time I saw him, the whole laptop was completely destroyed. You don't even see nothing in it, but he's sitting right there thinking, writing a script. And this is what America does to a lot of outsider filmmakers. And it's just ruined. It hurts me so much. I went to show my film in Louisville, Kentucky, where Brad is from, federal prison, and I find 2 of my film students in prison. So it's not an easy world to be like, to see a kid who dreamt from Mississippi to tell his mama's story is in prison. It's a trial on one's personality. And leaving them in prison after showing my film, forget it. After that, there's no cinema the type of Hollywood in my life. No way. And so, that's not the note I want to introduce. I'm getting bitter now. But I want to say he's the most constructive filmmaker who just does his movies, whatever resource he has. He might take sometimes a loan and then you put it in the film, he may not pay you back. But he's paid you back with the film. Daniel, don't be shocked enough. When you see the film, you say, don't worry about what you owe me or something like that. I think we have that kind of history one time. Maybe he gave me and I forgot because I can justify my senility as an excuse. And so, to me, I want to present to you Daniel, but the way it's going to go is first, we'll see the film, and then Daniel, Bradford Young, who shot the film, and David White will be here. I will mediate that discussion between them and you guys, and then we go straight to the music and then experience in a jazz form a performance night. Okay? So Daniel Williams, can you step forward, please, my brother? You were standing there, sweating. Sweating. What's Gorilla gonna say about me?
Thank you. This has been an incredibly overwhelming experience for me, and just first and foremost, thank all of you for coming. I much appreciate it. Thank you to St. Gilford Books and Video and the Garima family. And obviously, just right off the bat, one of the when this retrospective was presented to me, it was the idea that any donations or contributions that were made would go towards, helping me make a film and helping Heidi make a film. And I said, well, I'm full-time tenured academic. I have access to all kinds of equipment, and I have faculty development funds that I get every single year. And I have a savings account that I put money into every month from my checking account. And so any donations, I really would encourage you to make those donations for Black Lions, Roman Wolves, because that is the seminal major production that is forthcoming. And I would not be here if it was not for Haile Garima and all that he's given, not just to me, but for a whole host of people who had a dream of kind of telling a story. And and using a film camera and cinema as a means to tell that story. This film is not my film. It's a incredibly collaborative effort. It could not have been made without Bradford Young. Bradford, who, I don't know if he wants to tell that story, threw out his back one night on the shoot. I threw out my back one night on the shoot. I don't know what David threw out, but he might have thrown out some things as well. And I was truly inspired by their generosity and creativity, that just contributions that they gave me free of charge. And because I had no money to pay them. And they knew that going in. I don't know why they agreed to help on the film, but they did, and I will forever be appreciative and in their debt with that. And it's creative relationships and friendships that have stood the test of time. And there were students who worked on this film, friends who worked on this film. So it's really all of our endeavor. And I consider this a work in progress still. I tweaked it the last few weeks, kind of preparing it for this particular screening. And this version of the film is the first time it's been screened in front of an audience. So I hope that it says something for you, you get something out of it. Hopefully the times where there's levity, you'll respond to those. And I look forward to hearing your impressions about it and responding to any questions you have. So once again, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Do you know where the administration building is?
Yeah. You take this main street right here, take it up to the stop sign, and make a right. Go up the hill, past the gated entrance, and it'll be the big building on your left.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, you really ought to stop smoking. It's not good for you.
Thank you.
Open.
Sasha, hey. It's Cyrus. What are you doing?
Got home like 3 hours ago. You're calling my fucking phone over and over.
I'm sorry, but my boy and I have dinner tonight. I wanted to come by and pick up a little something. You know what I mean?
Tomorrow night, I need to ride home from work. Maybe about like 4:30.
I don't know. Maybe.
I just don't know if I can pick you up from work.
Whatever. Fuck it, Cyrus. I'll take a goddamn cab. Whatever.
I love smoking, and I hate smoking. I contemplate the contradiction with every drag, often putting the cigarette away for extended periods of time, only to return to the cigarette at some point in the future to start the contemplation again. It has a hold on me, especially after a shot of Patron or some fine-ass crime. When I smoke, each time I smoke, I thrive in nicotine denial. But somewhere in the back of my mind, emphysema, cancer of the bone, throat, and deteriorating health over a lifetime. After I stoke the last fiery embers down to the filter, the life of the cigarette continues. The smell permeates into my hair, my clothes, my skin. It turns my fingernails and teeth yellow, and it makes my breath stink. No matter how well I gargle or brush, I cannot brush my lungs. But drifting smoke is elegant. The way it rises in the air, twisting, turning, a swirling entity dancing in the light. It has a hold on me. And once I was hooked, once I found myself late at night driving to the one store that sold my particular brand, it became a part of who I am. And it's hard to change who you are.
Yo, I swear, the women get better looking around here every day. Yo, baby got it back for days. You say that every time you come up to campus. I can't help it. I have an unwavering appreciation of the female art form. One of these beautiful sisters might need my financial services. Look, man. Just saying. Be careful, bro. You know, because you know how secrets, man, they always find a way of revealing themselves. All right? What the fuck you on my cigarette, man?
Baby, you never lose your desire. And no matter how you try to hide it, I always know when you're smoking in your car.
Yeah, but baby, morning coffee without a cigarette?
Appreciate that we are at a very sensitive stage of this investigation, and therefore it is critical that we determine when it is appropriate to speak, who speaks, and what.
Yeah, but baby, morning coffee without a cigarette? No, that's just wrong. I'm weak. We're going to dinner with Orlando and Teresa tonight.
Cyrus, did you know one of my plans this week?
I thought you did before you left.
But we made a good contact.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think the producer likes it. Are you awake?
You
He has a new film coming out. He wants to be in. So you know he might have some decisions.
believe it? No, that's not true.
Come on, you can hide right now, just for now. But you made me a promise.
Couple other points I want to
Yeah.
Mm.
Go away. I'm gonna be late for work.
Rod. Yeah. When's the department gonna fix your computer? I'm gonna start charging you. Keep coming down here every day to use the internet. You know how things are around here, man. It takes time, brother.
I don't know how much longer I can do this. Hurts too much. I want you to be honest with me.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Talk to me.
I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I'm selfish, inconsiderate. I'm sorry. I guess I never thought how hard this could be for you. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I can't stop thinking about you. You know, sometimes I think we can complicate things. I like the way you make me feel.
And I still can't wait for you to touch me.
Your eyes,
I still want you to lay next to me.
your skin,
I still want you to taste me.
your lips whispering my name in my ear.
I still want to feel you inside of me. I want you to be honest with me.
got oil.
No,
Oil. So what, now the US is like the world's police force?
The bottom line is this. All right, as long as there's guns, as long as there's men with guns, there's gonna be warfare. It's inevitable.
And that's what he's about. That's what President Bush is about.
Sometimes it's necessary.
It's a reason. War is never necessary.
No, well, Saddam Hussein is a very valid man. You gotta admit that. I mean, he's a murderer. He's a terrorist.
I fancy myself as moderately intelligent and articulate. I can spar on a diverse range of topics and often believe in my arrogance that I have the answers. But what do I really know? I'm completely full of shit. Hoping that no one sees me looking at Teresa's breasts. I wonder what they feel like, how they taste. What would Andrea say if she knew what I was thinking? Maybe she does.
Look, man, you're bullshit.
How well does she really know me? How well do I know her? Why is she even with me? The world is blowing up and all I want to do is fucking eat. I wonder if anyone else feels this way.
Andrea, I support you. And I support the movement. I just don't want to go to the protest.
Why not, Cyrus?
Because I don't want to. I don't feel like being bothered with a bunch of naked, drum-beating white folks today.
What you're saying is you can't even bring yourself to go to the march just to share it with me.
Jesus Christ, Andrea. No, that's not what I'm saying.
That is what you're saying. When it's important to me, it means nothing to you. But anytime you want to see some movie or hang out with your stupid friends, there I am, right by your side. Cyrus, I would really.
So this is about Lando?
Please.
No. I have writing to do. I'm working today. It's Saturday. You know I write on Saturday.
You can't miss one Saturday.
So, have to stick to the routine.
You're going to be here all day. Right.
Yep.
All day.
That's right. And I might go out later tonight with Lando. You're going to be at dinner with Kabila, Andrea. Right? Andrea, look. That'll be a way for me to unwind. It gives me a chance to experience life. Who knows? I may stumble across something I can write about.
Yeah.
Oh, Andrea, wait, Andrea. I want to ask, can I borrow some money before you leave?
an energy of conflict in this city that overwhelms me. The traffic, the noise, the pollution, even the violence. I stand back in awe of the conflagration of human existence. Are we still evolving, or are we on a direct path to extinction? Global warfare, melting ice caps, genocide, suicide, infanticide, incurable viruses, terrorism, serial killing, mass murderers, reality TV, Republicans, Democrats, and me. Is this why I love and lust with such abandon? Never thinking, only acting. I want you. I need you. Leave me alone.
Hi, it's Stephanie. Give me a call. All right, bye. Hey, it's Stephanie again. I don't know why I'm calling you back. Yes, I do. But, I'm not going to say it on your voicemail. All right, bye. It's me again. You know, this really isn't working. I need to talk to you, and I can't. I don't know why it took so long, but, I see now. I don't think there's anything else to say. Goodbye, Sai.
How is it difficult for you, Sarah? When you come over, you fuck me, and then you leave. How is this difficult for you?
What do you want me to do?
You're being a real asshole right now. I feel like I don't even know you.
Sweetheart, we're all sinners.
You know, what do you want from me? What do you want out of this? What do you want? What do you want from me? Cyrus, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I can't see you. I don't want to see you. Please don't call me.
Steph.
Hey,
Where are you?
hanging out with Lando.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Lady, I'm sorry.
Well, you know.
No, I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
I'll tell you what.
Why don't you tell me why I should be here when you come home? Fucking asshole.
Something.
No, I was just checking on you, make sure you're all right.
No, you're knocking because you wanted to come in, so come in. Men are funny. Don't you ever get tired of looking at naked women. Hi.
No, hell no, not.
Why are you acting so shy? Come on in. So what do you want? Bath? Something?
Water's still
I don't think so. No.
on. I could, wash your back.
Sure. Thank you. See you.
I'll be down here.
Sorry. Can I get you some advice, bro?
Sure, what the hell?
Grow up. Go home and grow the fuck up. I'm going to pray. Young man, come here, young man.
strongest allies the president was talking to this morning. Britain mostly supports what the president is saying.
I thought it was one of the most powerful denunciations of any country I've seen anywhere, certainly in the United States. I imagine that to be the view of a lot of people in this country.
Nations like France, Russia, Egypt have strong reservations.
Now, at the end of this moment, where there was once passion, argument, conversation, the warm touch from someone who cares, now there's only cigarette smoke. Sensations that thrilled me in the past leave me wanting. My existence will have no meaning. I will have no meaning, no purpose, no direction without and as I find comfort in the solitude, I sense the loneliness. My thoughts are all that I have. Will it be enough? Will it be enough to fulfill my spirit? Will it be enough to give life to my soul?
Good evening, everyone. Once again, thank you for joining us this evening. We just watched Cigarettes for Breakfast by Daniel Williams, and of course, Edge Theory, David White on the music, and Bradford Young as the cinematographer. Thank you for that. In a few minutes, Haile, Bradford, and Daniel will be joining us for a discussion, and afterwards, we'll have a music session with David White and Edge Theory. But before all of that, I just want to, because we would like to see you all again back here, so I want to give you the rundown to the next upcoming events. On the 12th of October at 6:30 p.m., we have journalist and former travel correspondent John Jetter's new book launch and discussion. The book is called Class Wars in America: How the Elites Divide the Country by Asking, Are you a worker or are you white? After that, we have on the 15th, part 2. For those of you that were not here before this event, we had Amiri Baraka's 90th birthday celebration, part 1. Part 2 of it is on October 15th. There will be community poets poetry reading. It's called Poetry Libation, and it will be a lot of Mary Baraka's works readings and other community poets readings. That is on the 15th. On the 18th, we have Dr. Marilyn Mobley with her new book, Toni Morrison and the Geopoetics of Place, Race, and Belonging. On the 19th of October, we have a young sister that is traveling all the way from Nigeria to here to launch her new book. It's a children's book. It's called Melanin Magic, A Mystic's Guide to African Spirituality, which I'm very interested about. So we have that going on. And on the 20th, we have Haile's production of Amiri Baraka's The Dutchman play. Haile is calling that event Baraka the Playwright. So we have these events coming up and more. Please check out our website, www.sankofa.com, and also our social media, Sankofa DC. But before I go, I just want to say, for those of you that have donated the past 2 days, Daniel Williams has graciously allowed us to fundraise for Haile Garima's upcoming film, a 5-part documentary titled Black Lions, Roman Wolves. And I thank you all for donating. And also, if any one of you want to make a donation tonight, Abel, where our tech Abel standing, you can go over there and you can make a donation. If you want to make a cash donation, we have a box right there as well. For those of you, I believe all of you know Gus Haile more than I do, but one thing I can say is he has been working on this film relentlessly since I've met him. Every day he's in the editing room, and he's been doing that for 30 years. And I'm a little biased because I'm Ethiopian, and the story that he's telling is the untold story of Ethiopia, in which the Second World War started in Ethiopia, and with genocide took place in Ethiopia that nobody mentions. And for 30 years, he's been gathering these documents and videos, paying for everything out of his pocket. And I would like for all of us to pitch in and help him out in finalizing this film coming up. So that's that. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
It's not this Haile, she's talking about the guy in the editing room. Thank you, Maritu. She's the manager of the bookstore, and the activity that you've been witnessing is managed by her. It's going very, very good, and we thank her for it. In terms of this evening, first I want to talk about Bradford Young. Brad, for me, is a folk storyteller for me. And him and me used to have frictions on this, because I always wanted to tell a story. I didn't want him to be cinematographer. I wanted him to be the person who directs and tells the story. And I'll tell you why. Because every time, when I was doing Teza, he was actually did the whole pre-production, the pre-production. He communicated with all the co-production partners that I set in motion in Europe, and he was involved. Every time I see any file, his handwriting is there. and he was a very, very important pillar for Sankofa here. And David, Daniel also worked in this place. But in terms of Brad, I just want to tell you that I've never met his grandfather, but I know the guy. I know, I have a picture. You wouldn't believe I know how he looks, what he looks, because every time he came back from his people, Shriek, my wife and me would wait for him to tell us, just animatedly telling us a story about his grandmother, his grandfather, and his father, and then his mother, who he has lost as a young man. He's an amazing storyteller, and I've always wanted Brad to tell a story from Louisville, Kentucky, and I never wanted him to be a cinematographer of this Hollywood decadent people. And it's the first time I'm mentioning it today because it's my place he came to. We were Friday, Friday we were at his place opening Daniel's film. So I just want to say that straight out and call my brother, my young brother. He's now my rescuer. He's my pillar. You can't imagine, it comes out of your bosom to be the giant helper of my films that I'm making. Not only the documentary on the Ethiopian-Italian War, but he's a pillar on the producing of the Maroons of the United States. And Daniel has joined me to edit also. It's the kind of emotional gift I have from these people to a point sometimes I don't even know how to talk about it because it's so amazing how they're coming through for me. And so for me, Brad is a friend. He refers to me to a teacher, Mr. Garima or something. Sometimes I heard that. But, he used to shout at me, don't believe him, what he says. When he gets angry, he's upstairs in my office, he would just shout at me and we go at it, back, forth. And I didn't mind because that's how I grew, that's how he grew. We grew up together in this ESA project. And then he worked under a very dangerous Italian as an assistant cameraman. Intentionally took this Howard, spoiled people that I think, and put him under the dictatorship of an Italian when I shot the film Tesa. The cinematographer was a well-known cinematographer who shot, I think, what is that? Padre Padroni. And so, but the guy is so crazy about Brad. He always asks me by email, no, he passed, but he'll ask me, how's Brad doing? He thought about him, the first time he met him, he knew Brad was going somewhere with his, affection, love. You know him, most of you who are here know Brad, so I don't think I should tell you. But so for me, he's a storyteller. He's hooked me to many things. And he's a film he has to finish that I'm going to kill him if he doesn't. How many of you know Oscar Brown Jr.? Oscar Brown Jr. is in his film that is sitting somewhere in a vault. And I'm going to, maybe I thought about it today sitting there, maybe we should give it to Daniel to edit it and just leave Brad out of the way. So Bradford Young, please come forward, my brother, my young brother. I was going to make sure we can introduce him, but she hasn't showed up yet. So take any chair you want. It's after you, I'm gonna call Daniel, after you take your director's chair. Daniel, since I already introduced you, could you please come forward? David White. David White. I also introduced already David White. Please join us, brother musician, doctor musician. You don't have to bring your instrument.
The torture of these chairs. Torture of Q&A.
Yeah, but the other one, if we carry that one, we can take it back out. Yeah, the video.
We can't see you, Rafael.
Huh?
We can't see you on the camera.
I don't care if you don't see it, but you see them? That's what you want, excuse me. If you see them, it's fine with me. So, I'm going to ask Brad, first, Daniel has earlier talked about, but we know in terms of the film, you know, what went on in terms of as you watched the film with you, and how did it resonate? What are the memories that you want to bring?
I had a lot of feelings. I was, well, the first thing that, you know, when you watch a film, then
Turn up the mic.
you can hear me? There you go. So I gotta hold it closer. Well, there's a lot of feelings. I think the first thing is that you have, it's like, it's a relationship, you know, it's a love affair. So, the first thing that comes to you is like the joy and the pain of making, creating relationship, learning, and making a film. So I was inside, when I saw shots, I was inside the days that we made the shots. I was inside, you know, and also trying to remember what our collaboration looked like, and how we generated, how ideas were generated out of a collaboration. So yeah, it was it's the time capsule. So I was just trying to remember what it was like to be in those places, bearing witness to the story and trying to remember why we made the choices we made. So yeah, so that's the first thing, and then really just being, you know, once you get out of that cloud of trying to remember what all of that cyclone of energy and feelings, and you forget things and you remember things. Some are emotional, some are you want to run out of the room, you see certain things and remember certain things. Once you get out of that cloud and you settle, then I started being so thankful of how much Daniel has taught me. Because I can see in that film, I see the beginnings of things that I'm trying to do now as a cinematographer. They started in that film. You know, this is the first, Daniel gave me my first opportunity to shoot a feature film. Nobody else gave me the opportunity. And this was my teacher, and this was somebody who, you know, and most of you know, who were around. This is somebody that I really, really, really respected and admired from the first time I saw him walking down the hall. And Howard, this tall, redhead dude, sandy haired dude, who had like stone face. Yeah. This dude is serious. I'm trying to figure out what he's into. So, and to, you know, Tracy introduced me to him, who's also an amazing image maker and storyteller and writer. And then it was a relationship from, I don't know, 19 years old all the way until now. So, yeah, just, and the lessons learned, you know, just, and just really being also thankful too, and I'll be living here, just thankful that there's something that happened on cigarettes that I have not experienced in my, you know, professional life as an image maker, which is a very generous, loving, warm process where we took our time. You know, I know I romanticized it. Like earlier today, we were talking, like I romanticized, you know, the way Daniel would deliver pages, the story each day, and I know he stood up. You know, I would hear him say, "Oh, I was up all night writing," but in my mind, it was romantic. You know, and he would show up with pages, and we would develop the idea on the spot. We were making music, you know, and it's like I don't have that. Those opportunities don't present themselves now because of the industrial nature in which I participate in the majority of the filmmaking that I'm making now. So just also really remembering, yes, it was hard, and I know it was hard for Daniel, and now I really understand and appreciate how hard it was for him to conceive of this film, but also at the same time, just remembering how much I admired him, you know, how much he really, his rigor is obvious but also being a very free spirit and a very creating a very free, liberated zone for us to make the decisions that we make. And some of them, for me, from like an image making standpoint, it's just hard. Some it's hard to see. It's like, oh, I remember a shot, and like, oh, I remember Daniel did like this, that too. So it's just a testament. It's a testament to time, and growth. So yeah, special.
Okay, David. Now I want to come back. I want to come to you in terms of like how Daniel Daniel is a musician also, in the sense that he's one of, to me, the way you sound is significant. He's a soundtrack builder, and often musicians don't know how to work with that kind of storyteller, where he takes your music and crashes it into the rest of the film. And how did you take that, for example, the context you puts it in?
So for me, like this was, I think, right after Sankofa, I think, and Sankofa was the first film I ever did, period, not anything at all. So I didn't know yet that I didn't know enough to be scared. So I said, I forget how we met. It was probably around with you guys. You introduced us.
Of course.
And he was
Where
like,
else would you be, not in Texas?
yeah. So I was like, okay, I did one. How hard could the next one be, right? So, but the funny thing is, like, I don't think we got to work too close. I mean, I think he was mostly done with editing by the time I came around. So he had a bunch of temporary tracks in, but you're right. It's like the cuts he would send me had all kinds of other sound that I didn't want to clash with. So I just kind of had to find a space that wasn't occupied, because music, for me, music is about space. Too much space and it's too cluttered and you can't really figure out what the themes or what the point is. But you got to find that right space. You don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. You want to be right in that space that supports it but doesn't take it into a different direction. So that's kind of the approach I took. I don't know if that makes sense, but like some of this stuff, I haven't heard this in like 15, 20 years. And these were things where it's like, I just had to find the core of what that scene was about. And I could ask Daniel, but I think you were in the process of starting somewhere else. I think we weren't even in the same town. So he would send me stuff through email and I would send stuff back and forth. So it was a weird kind of collaboration, but it was still, I think I got what he was, hopefully I got what he was looking for. And I got what he was trying to express with the stuff he sent me. So that's kind of the approach I kind of took. I mean, the theme song was the first thing I wrote that was kind of inspired by the images I saw of that smoky background with him in the club or bar or whatever. And that just took me back to my childhood of, playing in clubs when I was 16 years old. The cigarette smoke is the only thing I remember about being back then, but it was such a permeating part of that scene. I wasn't supposed to be there. I was 16 years old, even old enough to look at a drink, much less be in a club with people 3 times my age in the same band. But it took me back to that time of I'm not gonna say, well, it was everything was really intense. Everything was really magnified, and that's what I felt with that first scene. It was like, I kind of get where this is going. Let me draw from my own background and put in there. But yeah, that's a non-technical approach.
Okay, well, then I'm going to come to Daniel. Daniel, to me, that piece is the most dangerous. It's a great music. The most dangerous gift to a filmmaker, because many filmmakers would put it wall to wall. It would be like, you would not have mercy. You get a music like that, they lose this, everything, and it would become wall to wall. Where in the end would tell the story. But the way you're using it, you trigger the story, and from then on, the visual rhythm that you embark into lives up to that pace and rhythm and structure that we were introduced in the beginning. And so, what was the confrontation for you when it first came to you? How did you view that, and what was your apprehension or non-apprehensiveness of it?
Well, you have to remember that this is 20 years ago we were working on this film, and there's a lot I don't remember about the process. I do remember that David said it was this. I had already moved to Ohio, and in fact, we met on Shrikayana's film, I think, Through the Door of No Return. Right? We bonded over the very intense post production process that we were subjected to in that film. Because I was assistant editor and David was working on the music. Every time David sent me a file, I mean, they were just gifts. I mean, I was so thankful and so appreciative and happy because it was, and he had at this time, it was the first time you had agreed, as I said this earlier, nobody was getting paid on this. And so, to have someone who was so talented, and Brad as well, just giving everything they could to the film and giving me these gifts was, in some ways overwhelming, but I knew that it was something that was going to bring life to the film. At least I thought it was. And I know for the opening track, and this is something that, it's a process. So I don't even know exactly how I first used that piece. I think it, that whole sequence where the shots at the beginning and then the introduction of the character Stephanie, and then going to the opening sequence. I knew I wanted an opening sequence, and I think we had maybe talked about that. And then it really kind of allowed me to kind of really play because you gave me the structure and the rhythm and certain moments in that I specifically kind of edited, the titles and cutting back and forth between the smoke and the image and the titles was really just kind of going along with what the music was giving me, at least that particular track. And I think it kind of happened like that for a lot of them because I don't remember if there was a tip track for the opening or not. I think there was, but it was very different. It even had vocals in it. Yeah.
Can I say that the beginning part, could we call it as if it is foreshadowing the whole film, the whole beginning, or is it just does it work as a foreshadowing dramatic idea in that whole beginning?
It can.
Brad, what do you think? No, to me, I thought like the film, the whole moral narrative is foreshadowed by that whole. It's platformed in that beginning, and I'm not good at this unless I'm being asked. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys don't want to say something, let's move it to the people to ask questions. Okay? I'll go around. You stay there. You stay there. I'm the producer. So if you have any question, let's create an interactive kind of. Since you watch the film, if you have any question. Okay. You have here. There's a question here.
Thank you for being here. I have a question about, for you, Brad, about some of the, I guess, your cuts, your jump, the way you shot, how, Daniel, how you edited some of those jump cuts, it looked like. Why did you choose that process within the film itself? I mean, it ran through the entire film. So I want to know what was behind that.
I think there were a number of reasons, and I think a lot of it stems from I guess I would say just the ability in editing in order to break up the temporal flow or the continuity of an image, and the desire to kind of build an aesthetic in the film that was somewhat, maybe improvisational in a way, but it's really kind of not, because when you're editing room, you're really being kind of precise, so you have to be precise sometimes in terms of how you edit things. And sometimes there can be happenstance where you eliminate several frames, and then you put things together, and then there's a juxtaposition that happens, and sometimes it's smooth juxtaposition, and sometimes it's a really harsh juxtaposition that breaks up that continuity. And I think on a practical level, a lot of it also was taking out stuff that I didn't like. And so it became like an aesthetic of the film, but I think it also kind of alludes to or suggests, the idea of memory and fantasy and dream, and how those don't always flow in a straight line.
And did it make it difficult for you, David, to add the music in because of that?
I didn't really notice it in particular. I mean, I kind of just went with what he gave me. If that answers that question.
Don't start a problem.
Well, I got one question I want to ask though.
No, we are friends.
I have one question I want to ask Daniel though. So, hearing this stuff after 15, 20 years, I really like this cut. It's really good. I really appreciate it. But there was some stuff that I specifically wrote for the film, and other stuff, it was like at one point you were just give me whatever you got, I'll see if I can make it fit. So I just sent a bunch of stuff, and even that stuff, it seems to fit. I mean, how did you pull that off? I mean, it was stuff that I wrote for like my cousin's album that never made it anywhere. Some stuff I had written, years earlier and just threw in the closet. I mean, but it seemed to really fit. I mean, how did you pull that off?
Well, of course, I didn't know that. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's. I think you probably didn't you give me things that you probably felt would work?
Yeah.
So there you go.
But I also think I want to interfere. To me, I think when you see the other films we showed with Daniel Steinweiss from Friday, yesterday, he's a soundtrack builder. Tediously builds his sound. He's very specific. He sometimes even without dialogue shows you the contradictions of feuding lovers through the cups moving on a table. This is the kind of filmmaker he is. You have to see really his film. For me, he is a master sound structuralist. He structures sound. I believe in that. I myself, I'm crazy about sound. I don't like to make film where I'm not in charge of every noise that's coming out of there. So for me, if we've seen all these films, what we know is he is very, very good. He has a good ear. Just give him, he'll break it and structure it and place it in the right place. And the production value of his film, let's say, just alone, even by industry estimate, the production value of his film lifted up by the tedious work he put into the soundtrack. Sometimes we don't think so. We don't think that this, we're careless. The sound brings value to the image also. Although the image is also has to be valuable. But if you see the other films, you would see what I'm saying. And don't start problem with my friends. Not in my place. If they fight, I will expel you from the class. Go ahead, my brother.
Great evening. My name is Augustus. Local native in the area, currently in the Sankofa Film Workshop. But I hear a lot about you guys, and this is my first impression sitting down with you all. Also, I love you all's candidness with each other. And a lot of the books I'm reading, the processes I'm going through, I'm saying it's that honesty that gets the best truth of the creation that you all are creating between each other. And I see you all up there and I'm inspired. I have some friends in the crowd too who are filmmakers. I want to be like y'all, like 20 years from now as filmmakers, where you all still have that candidness with each other and honesty. What are some steps you all have? I know it's not a gradual overnight process. I know it's like mentor professorship to student, but like with even this process, especially filmmaking, where you need that honesty and you get that vibe, like between each other. Like, how have you all been able to build that from even mentorship, like professor to student, just even now you all are just adults together on that same like head-to-head level? What are some tips you give for like young Black male filmmakers or filmmakers in general to keep that level of honesty and candor within each other in other spaces professionally?
It's not a question, so you know, stay quiet. Okay? Any questions?
Hi, my name is Erin Soleil. First of all, incredible film. Being an observer of it, I feel like watching it, just the way it was filmed, but also the music behind it, everything, holistically, it made me think a lot about life, and kind of as it was said before, think about just the beauty of the real human experience. I don't know, it's giving me things, specific things to take with me tomorrow. And I was wondering, being creators of it, has this film taught you guys anything about life, about relationships, about how to see the world? Because it moved me, so I assume it moved you guys.
Oh my God, that is a rough question. Okay, you guys have to, all of you have to say something. The sister is dropping a bomb. So, who do we go first?
The brother dropped the bomb too.
Yeah, it's constructive feedback. Yeah, I know. But he's.
Ladies first.
Huh? My brother, don't worry. You did good, but this was the bomb. Black women drop bombs, okay? They don't just say things. So we know that camaraderie, males don't have to. Go ahead, before I get in trouble, go.
So for me, up until that point, I had written stuff that I thought was okay, but it wasn't anything that I really liked. This was like the first stuff that I really actually liked, and it impacted me on such a deep level that I still carry those songs around to this day. That's why we play Cigarettes. That's why I made a whole thing of that. I mean, it's just, if it hadn't been for that film, I wouldn't have written it, and I wouldn't have gotten to the point where I really like the stuff that I do. I know that's hard to hear, but some artists, it's hard to appreciate your own work without, getting a giant head. So.
By the way, this is always requested 2-3 times every other Friday. There's a David White jazz concert here with his crew, and it's always played at least twice every night. Go to that.
Well, I think it's something that we briefly mentioned last night, that, I mean, if you're just specifically talking about relationships, you learn from relationships every single day, all right? Because particularly if you're committed to that relationship, you have to learn, because you have to adapt, you have to compromise, all of that. I think the thing about this film is that it's very interesting that, literally, 21 years later, 22 years later, we're actually having, a screening of this film, and David White is playing music that he wrote for the film, and Heidi's telling me that when he and Edge Theory play the song, that he is the theme song for the film, that it goes over really big. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, yes, David White, his band, he and his band are fantastic. My film, but it's not about the film, it's about the music. But I'm thankful that this opportunity has been created, and I guess it's something maybe about art, that I look back and I don't know if Brad remembers these conversations. I may not have shared them with him, but I had expectations. I had ideas about what I hoped and wanted this film to do, and that did not materialize. And at a certain point, I had to come to terms with that, and I had to also come to terms with the amount of money and time that went into the making of the film. And that it wasn't about what the film was going to do or not going to do. It was about the process. It was about the process of creativity. It was about the process of expression. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like the film is, for me, is not done. It's still a work in progress, because I'm watching it now and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I could switch that shot with this shot. I need to do something else with the sound there. And so I think, having expectations about your art, I think, is something that I've learned. I think it can be very dangerous, and I use that word as Professor Raymond uses that word. It can be dangerous to have an expectation about what your art, your creative expression, how it's going to, what the result or the impact of that is going to be, because it brings into question as to why you're creating that art in the first place. Are you creating it because you want it to do something, or are you creating it because there's something that you have to say, something that you have to express?
Brad, your turn.
Okay.
The Rush question.
Right.
I want to respond to Augustus' question too. What other you go?
Yeah.
Okay. I think since I came to DC like 1995 and stepped foot in this building and learned from Heidi, learned from David, learned from Daniel, all the filmmakers, Shirkiana, I think we, oftentimes we would hear, maybe not hear, but maybe heard it along the way, but there's this idea that there's some revolutionary potential for film, right? And when we hear that, I think the thing that our first impression is, we get caught in, the politics of that, what that looks like in our current world, what does revolution look like, what does change look like? And I think we miss, one of the things I remember highlights telling us early on is that, we're artists, we're not politicians, we're not endorsing parties, we're like here to put everything we have out on the table and turn it into this thing 24 frames per second for a minute long, or for 2 hours long, or 4 hours long, whatever it is. We're here to express something that's inside of us, that's captured inside us, that's trapped inside of us, and needs to be presented. And I think one of the things that happened to me today watching it was that made me feel like, oh, okay, this is where film reaches its revolutionary potential. It's not about dogma, it's not about rhetoric, it's about hearing, and specifically, it was in the parking lot scene. And there was some dialogue there that was like so familiar to me, because I've actually said those things. And when you're inside those moments, you don't hear how foolish you are. When you're inside those moments, you don't understand the danger of that moment. But when you see it on screen, then you see yourself, right? In all the films that we've all said, oh, the revolutionary potential, it wasn't about dogma or rhetoric. It was always that the films were a mirror to ourselves. You know what I mean? Those are the films that we celebrate, we remember, we love the most. And this today really, that wanted to run out of the room or like hide under the chair. Like, I made the film together, hide under the chair. It's like, oh, that's revelatory. This is why film is important, because when you get distance from something, or you're hiding from something, or you're not facing this thing, it's not there, but it's still there. You're running from it. But film is amazing because it just reminds you that it's still there, and you're in this moment, and this moment is actually you. So that for me was that's why this film today means so much to me, because there's so much time, so many children later, relationships later, marriage, all of that is now behind me or in front of me, and this film is part of that journey. So it's really interesting to just, in some ways not be completely not necessarily captured by the story as coming into the story as if I've never seen it before, but but actually coming in to the film like I'd never seen it before, you know, and having a new fear, a new experience, something new that's revelatory about it was really, and actually stepping out of the film too, like not forgetting often when I was there, forgetting that I actually participated, helped make the film, you know what I mean? That was really, yeah, special, but also scary, you know, super scary.
Yeah, I was thinking about your question, and the only thing I could really say is that it's not something that you can force. You can't manufacture it. I think, you know, we've been friends for over 20 years because maybe it was meant to be. You know, there's something about Brad's spirit and David's spirit and maybe mine if I have one, that you know we've been able to not just be, you know, creative collaborators, but I love this brother. You know, he's my friend, and we don't have to make films together, right? But he'll still always be in my life. And so, you know, as you continue, you'll find those people that it's not just the people that you want to make films with. It's what people that you want to share an experience with, and there's not a lot of people that are going to fit that, you know, criteria.
But I want to add a little bit to that. I think you have to, you know, create the conditions, participate to create the conditions of collaboration and understanding you don't lose your individuality because you enter into collaborations. Collaborations complement the growth of individual people. Except capitalism has educated us, brainwashed us not to work together because it cherry picks amongst us and destroys the idea. So for me, art could never be born without this collaborative atmosphere and an effort on your part to be part of a group, knowing and distinguishing that your ego, you need to. Film is a very corrupting industry in general. It doesn't matter. Film was born in like red light district kind of mindset. It's a very corrupt world. Everywhere it has been, it has corrupted the world. You know, America's power all over the world is film. With the Second World War, film ushered America's empire. That's how subliminally powerful it is from here to Asia, Asia to Africa, etc. And so we don't have a chance. We always think the ego is important, and it nurses that. Capitalism nurses ego, but communal people create each other's complementary skill and gift to create the condition to stop being competitive. That another person is not a problem for your evolution or growth. It is only you there. But the other people could be reinforcing your own development. I think one thing I know at Howard was we created with people who cared, working together, reading each other's script without fear. Okay? Daniel sends me everything he writes. He is about to make a movie. Edgar sends me from California. Read, give me feedback. They go after feedback, no fear. You know, so to me, it's very important. You as a young person now, with all of you who are here in this kind of workshop, you have to know that in each other's evolution and growth, you rise too. It's not another person's rising that your problem is. Communally, you can make a vertical mobility into your gift, your personal individual gift, and not to be afraid of being part of a group, knowing what you want without losing. Sometimes there are sects that destroy individuals where you are hampered and stifled. But if it is a fertilizing community, you have to participate yourself. You have to extend yourself, conquer fear, and extend yourself, and be vulnerable for feedback. When I came to Howard, a lot of young black men don't know how to take feedback from black women in classes. There's no class I taught where you don't submit to discussions. Okay, that guy AJ, you see that statue there, the guy that sent me that, he knows that class. When he presented something, how the women jumped quickly on his story, but he was so good human being. What I like him is he rose he rose to continue without being, he didn't take it personal that they jumped on his story, and then he realized his story was a boy's story. And that's what I have eternal friendship with him. When I noticed him not being devastated by that feedback, some men drop out of class. Okay, I don't know. I took over that. I wasn't going to do what I'm going to do.
I want to say, I want to say one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to say, when we, I'm gonna keep it short, but when I came to Howard, I'll speak for Daniel too, because he was in the program. When we came to Howard, our experience of what we wanted from film wasn't mired with celebrity and fame. It didn't exist. That was not something we were calculating. We were motivated and moved by something different, which was community building. Like that was the reason why that was one of the exciting proposals about making film, is that we got to be together. And this idea that one of us, as Ali said, would be cherry picked or sent out into the world, and would become whatever it wasn't even in our head. Because remember at that time, none of the stuff that we think we are navigating now, those places didn't want us, didn't need us, and we never even considered going there because it wasn't a space for us. And that was the thing we do. So we built community, and that community, for me, which is important as far as I'm concerned about Daniel, is that, Daniel's always my teacher. He's always going to be my teacher. And I walk into our relationship in that way. But I also know that while I'm navigating this world making film, that if I ever make the wrong move, there's something interesting that happened with Riley and I. There was something that was presented to me, and when it was presented to me, I said, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, let me check with the community. And I went and I asked, I came here, I sat down with Riley, I said, should I do the film? I called a couple of cats and said, should I do the film? And everybody said, yeah, do the film. The reason why they said do the film, which is common, which was, if you do the film and you fail, your children are still going to eat. I'm still going to take care of your family. If you fall backwards during that process, we're going to catch you. And that, for me, is the most important thing that we have to carry into this process of making film. We have to remember, when we make films, we're vulnerable. The best of us are vulnerable. We're opening ourselves up to things that we wouldn't necessarily open ourselves up to. I know that about Hailey. I know some of you all don't. You all wouldn't imagine that about, but Hailey is one of the most vulnerable, one of the most sensitive, one of the most warm cats. And that's the reason why the three of us have such a close relationship with him. It's not just because he's our teacher. Yes, he has so much to give us, we have so much to learn from him. But there's a kindred energy that we have that is about opening ourselves up and feeling safe with one another in something that it's so industrialized. It requires a certain amount of honesty with yourself and a certain amount of risk. And when you take those risks, knowing that if it doesn't go the way that it intended, as Daniel said, that he can still call. I can still call. I can go visit. We can still figure out a way to make it work. I think that's the most important thing to carry into a world that is. They're not even looking at the films you're making anymore, bro. They're just wondering, can they get you on the red carpet and run you through a PR machine and take you out of the community of filmmakers that you work with? Like I say now, listen. I'm just gonna give you one. I'm just gonna give you one example. Man, we made Pariah for $50,000. When we made Pariah, we created a microeconomy. We all showed up. Everybody got a little bit of money, $2, $3, $4, but people were paying for their kids to go to school. People were paying for the bus fare. And it all depended on the central element, which is known as the director, was the head creative of the experience. And we were all there together. And then the film went into the world. And the first thing that happens when you go into that world is the industry, they pluck the director, take the director out of the community, and the whole microeconomy collapses. And then what we have to do then is sit back. I'm not saying this would happen with Dee, but I'm just using this example. What we have to do is then sit back and bear witness to that world, breaking down the person that we depended on, trusted, and loved the most, who was our creative leader, the person that we couldn't make a shot without this person. So that's the world that you're entering, is that where they don't really care. It's not about the labor of it all. There's no class consciousness. There's class consciousness. There's those who haul cable and those who, remember, they call you below the line. They call you below the line and above the line. The people that are above the line don't even show up. And they make 10 times more than you. So you have to figure out a way to, on every level, be together. I remember, and I'm gonna tell one more story. It's about Terrence Nance here. If y'all know Terrence Nance, one of the most incredible filmmakers we had.
Give him a there's a
You haven't seen the oversimplification of her beauty. You need to check that film out. And Random Acts of Flying in season 1 and 2. One of the most crazy. So Terrence and I were in California making one of these big, nasty, gargantuan films at a studio. It was nasty. and it was lots of black people in the room, very few white folks, lots of folks of color in the room, calling all the shots. But when we turned around to ask if we could move forward, we still had to get permission from the folks that were in the room. Wow. Right? And Terrence, I'm not even gonna tell you. Terrence, if you don't know Terrence is always dressed as a very spirit-driven brother. He was dressed in white. He'd come to the set with his flowing wind, bring wind with him, just such always a beautiful spirit. Even in this film that we all kept saying, you see the vision, Terrence? Terrence, I got the vision, follow me. We were walking with the brother into war. Because we know Terrence, who trusts his vision. Now, this is California. When you go on the set in California, there's everybody. There's Nazis, there's MAGA folks, there's all types of guys on the set that we do not, and I mean that literally. I mean that literally, it's not figurative, I mean that literally. The conversations that are happening around the dolly are conversations that you have to turn it off, don't listen, and just focus on the frame. Every day, Terrence would come onto the set with the Nazi dudes, the toxic MMA guy, all those cats were there. Terrence would come with his beautiful sandals, his scarf, and say, okay, everybody, before we start shooting today, let's thank our ancestors. Let's remember where we are. Let's be thankful that we're together. And the first day, the Nazi dudes and the MAGA and all the crazy, they all ran into a corner. Didn't want to do it. I watched them walk away and turn around and just keep making noise, and Terrence kept it going. Fast forward. His brother stayed consistent every day. He did that, brought that energy to set every day. And then they let Terrence and I go. They said, you are no longer needed here. Those Nazi MAGA dudes, you know what they did? They were like, yo, Terrence Nance, you want us to burn down the studio? We're going to do it for you right now. Wow. You see what I'm saying? They stepped up because every day he came with consistency. He came with love. The only reason why these cats were feeling the way they were feeling is because they not giving no love. Their mama didn't tell them they love them, their dad didn't tell them, and they were definitely not on set. Nobody ever said to them on set, like, I love you, I respect what you're doing, and I'm standing with you. Because without you pulling and humping the cable and doing all of this, we can't even make a frame. There are 1,000 hands that need to go into one frame. And he understood that. And so that for me that's the lesson for us, is like, there's teachers, there's students, but the thing that we have to do at the end of the day is like stand together as community. It's not reactionary. We're not there to go to war. We're actually there to just have fun and love each other and respect what we're doing and respect that everybody has something to say and something to give. I think that's the thing we have to do.
Well, let me tell you now, folks. Let's talk. One question, short answer, one question, because the musicians are going to walk out. The crazy. David is going to have a riot in his hand. And so, no. This is excuse me. There's a hand there behind you. This is the problem. Here, a quiet sister wants to speak, and I'm not going to say no to her.
My question is for Daniel. I've noticed this in every single film. What is your affinity with windows?
That's what
okay, one. That's over. We're going to start the music.
I've also been the film Ringing.
Yeah. Yes.
I've seen it like on all of it, I believe. Like in all the films that we watched from yesterday, the phone ringing. What does
The
that
phone
mean?
ringing and no one ever
But the
answers.
problem is aeroplane. He's obsessed with airplane also. So why don't you privately ask him later, since you guys are also his students. And so what you should do is ask them this reoccurring images. The phone, by the way, goes from the landline kind to the cell phone. It's a commentary on the world we're getting into. So anyway, Daniel, quickly do it. If not, talk to them privately because there are people. Unless other people want to hear the answer. Window, why always are you fixated? Why is he fixated with all these black women in every film he makes? So we're not going to go there.
Good night.
So let's really, for the sake of like going, the whole concept of this screening is the movie and the jazz part. So let's quickly go to the jazz part before we lose each other.
Before, let's all stand for Daniel Williams, please.
Okay, if you want to run bathroom quickly, you want to get some drink quickly, beer is good for jazz. Maybe whiskey too. No joint. No grass. Oh, okay.
Hey, yes.
Look it out for
Davis.
Things have come to free.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I wanna help with the chairs. I don't know what to do. I'll take care of this. Okay. All right.
I'm good. Thank you.
Are you okay with you? You can get your drink. Well, the bottle will be open.
Leave wine on the stage.
So if you know Okay, guys. You need that table there? Chair? Yeah. That chair? Okay.
Mic check 1 2.
Yes.
What's that? Yeah. Gotta be first.
Let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'll be a couple of minutes. That's fine. If we do it again, maybe I'll move it in the No, we didn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to. Alright. So, but basically, it's this list with just the soundtrack. You got that? Say again. Basically, this list, we're gonna skip over the non-soundtrack. Still in the same order. Oh, so I'll be Okay, so we're probably we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. Yeah, like 2 minutes. Or 1 minute and 40 minutes.
The show is starting in 1 minute. Can you please come to the front?
All right, so
Brad, let's go.
so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So this first one is the actual title track, "Cigarettes for Breakfast." This is what we hear in the beginning of the film. And what happened was later on in the film, I have another thematic part of that. That's just the piano. That I forget when we did this. It was towards the end of the process. And I liked it so much, I used that as the intro for this song. So we kind of stuck those things together, and that's how it became the song that it is today. So this is "Cigarettes for Breakfast." Thank you. So that was obviously cigarettes for breakfast. We had a nice little cigarette smoke fade at the end. So yeah, that one always gets me. I like that's like one of the favorite things, and actually one of the band's favorite things to do too, because it just has a lot of layers and texture to it that I don't know, it just works for us. So hopefully it works for you.
Yeah, man.
So we got these. Okay, so this next one is one other from the movie. It's called Base Desires. It's kind of a double entendre because obviously base desires means something, primal. But it's something that when I wrote it, it was 100% on bass. So I took I was learning bass, so I took the bass and I used a loop pedal to create all the parts and just kind of layer it up like that. So I figured that's kind of cute. I'll call it Base Desires. Not like the Mark Johnson record though, right? Because he is one called Base Desires.
He had a band.
Oh yeah. So it's not that. All right, so Base Desires. called Scene something, because I didn't even know what scene it was gonna go on. So.
16, I think.
16, yeah, that's it. He's got the files. We only just picked these up, like, what was it, Thursday night?
Yeah.
I knew we were doing this, but I didn't know which ones to do, and then I finally found my copy of the film and said, oh, okay, this is it. So I kind of had to get them all out. So that's just a testament to the professionalism of all these great guys I've been playing with for about 20-something years now. Actually, I'll do a quick introduction. So on guitar, and this is the guitar you hear in the film at the beginning. A friend of mine who I've known since Howard University, Dennis Benjamin. I'll watch you. And he's actually playing with an injured hand, so that shows his dedication.
I understand.
And then we got Doug Ortega on keyboards. Finally doing some justice to my piano picking that I did on the CD. Then we got Mr. Aubrey Moore on drums. And Mr. Rory Moore on bass. Okay, so
you?
I'm David White, saxophone player, and yeah, I sort of lead a band sometimes.
All right.
first time we played that one. Then we got this. Say when? I'll follow you guys. Thank you. Okay, so, thanks so much for that. So we've pretty much run out of music for the film. So we're gonna do a couple more pieces that are our regular tracks. So let's do Julie. So this is one I wish could have made it into a film. So it's not too late if anybody wants to pick it up. Thank you. So like I said, that was up for grabs if anybody wants it. So just to make it easy, there's no title for it either, so. How about this chant? So this next one, actually it's funny because the last couple times we played here, it's a whole new audience, so that's good, just to limit the turnover, so they're not tired of all my stories. So I got one for those who haven't heard it. So during the pandemic, I tried to not go crazy. I tried to write at least one piece of music every day. Sometimes they were just ideas, sometimes they were whole things, but I ended up with a whole bunch of stuff that, I'll just call it stuff, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I jammed some of it together and it kind of made sense. So this is one of the pieces. I like to call it This Chance. Okay, we're just trying to figure out what. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So before we close it out, just wanted to get permission from Mr. Haile to see if he wants to do our usual. Did you want us to recap?
When you're about to close, yeah, we go. I'm waiting for that.
Cigarettes. Okay, so we're gonna do one more version of the cigarettes. We got 3 minutes before they throw us out. So this is for Haile. The last one was for Daniel, but this was for Haile. We'll
should have started it.
Okay, brother, we're waiting. Let's move it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we are Edge Theory, so make sure to check us out on our site, edgetheory.band. And thanks Haile and Sharik for letting us be a part of this celebration of Daniel's great work. Hopefully you guys will see us in the future. Just check the schedule, let us know when we'll be here again. Thanks Brad and Daniel for being here. I'm glad you guys had a chance to check us out when we're not on the phone or over the internet. So. Okay, thanks so much everyone.
Thank you for sitting by me as I perfectly enjoyed Dennis's.
Could you guys come forward?
Yes, sir, you can.
Brad, just before you go, they only give some thank you notes to somebody. Go ahead, come forward. Good turkey. 1 second now. While the jazz music is playing, at least he can give you saxophone accompaniment. I wish I did it. Daniel, forward, my brother. Oh, thank you. The students he given workshops, they love him so much. Since he's leaving tomorrow as a traitor.
No, I'm not leaving until Tuesday.
Get a mic and speak.
This is just a gift from us, our workshop that you have taught us. A thank you gift just for teaching us and for being an educator, being an independent filmmaker that we all look up to. So we got you a book courtesy of Sankofa Bookstore that we had all signed for you, just as a thank you gift and thank you for being here and just celebrating you and celebrating you being here and sharing your work.
Wow.
You know, let me tell you, sister, he's lonely in a white snowing. Cool. Black kids celebrating him. Oh my God. Check his temperature.
Yeah, it's in the back. We all signed it back there. Yeah, I mean, I was with you for a short while, but it was very impactful.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm about to say, we all contributed in the class, including me, even though I wasn't there for your part of the session, but I didn't know I already witnessed your work with Sankofa and other places before. So it was cool to see other ways you already touched me. And then seeing other classmates talk about your skills is still humbling to this day. First time seeing your films this weekend, I'm seeing why they talk about you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God. Never turned his
That's
fun. Part of the class. Who knew?
I'll read this in private.
You
Like,
failed to
like,
mention
you know,
this
get
one
emotional.
deal. You went here.
I know.
Great to see you.
Yep, I'll be back.
Yeah, truly.
They said you was in Baltimore when they showed it out here on Friday.
Yeah.
Like I gotta say, it was just humbling seeing DC in that light, like growing up around here. And you seeing like the metro of it, like that's odd that we just to see the beauty in a different way these times. Like I'm Morty. I know Bemna and them are gonna like the Moon Gang. I love the way they tackle certain current images, but like you interpret it in the editing too. Like to see that in something I walk around every day. I don't know.
Oh man, it was great. It was great hearing you guys live, man. It was amazing. I loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
I'm glad we were able to put the actual face in person. I remember David took us a short video.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
So is this the same makeup like in the credits? Is it the exact same?
He's at
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's fun. We play with him all up. We're brothers. That's how we learned to play nice together. We used to have arguments. Who had to practice basically.
It was something productive.
But this class,
That's the workshop.
Right, let's
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's a nice word. See if we can find like a big section. The groove is nice. Yeah.
process.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
like
The stuff I work for, and the stuff that you person like, you know, the person has like, it's like,
jams on this. Yeah, maybe we can probably go to it or whatever. That's cool. It definitely has a great. Which one? Yes.
Yeah, I saw the heads nod.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the best things for you doing that. My head was not. So control. Break. Because I got my surgery November 13th, so I should probably look at that first.
Okay, absolutely. I just wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed the band and your playing. Yeah, I really enjoyed your playing. I hope this doesn't insult you, but I was thinking of Paul Schofield. John Schofield?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I didn't insult the dog.
Yeah, good.
No, that's a very lovely comment.
Okay, cool. Great. Yes, I'm just, yeah. I mean, I've always, you know, guitar, electric guitar is like, you know, I just love that, particularly in jazz, and you're so light, and it's great. And to watch you play.
And it was fun to see the film again. I saw parts of it when I was working on the soundtrack. It was really fun to see it again, see the whole thing. And it's like, oh, that music. I mean, obviously, we played this all the time.
Yeah, it was cool to hear you play that. I mean, that sound that you had back then. Yeah. Different equipment, but it was so cool.
Yeah, very gratifying.
Yeah.
Sauce, yeah. I'm glad you finally came out here.
Well, let's just say, not this one. Oh, there's gotta be a time, you know, this was perfect for me because I'm going to
The Deadhead.
you know, just sort of credit to the film gone and listen to what you did with that film. Not in her
We weren't even in the same town. We just said stuff.
Yeah, about.
Can
you raise that screen?
Tell me when will you be mine? Tell me we can share love divine. Please don't regret it again. When will you say yes to me? Tell me wonder, you mean happiness to me.
And thank you for your
Please tell me when.
But this is standard.
Oh.
So I'm through the film, unfortunately. I knew it was actually
Sure.
a writer writing about, his creation, his creativity, or is this so light? And I chose to just allow it to it didn't have to.
I see trees of green,
So whatever
red roses too.
and whatever
I see them blue
that's your thing.
from you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue.
Right, I'm ready.
I hope it doesn't. It makes it a little bit too much with
First thing she said,
Sound check time is the perfect
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what I was hoping for. That there are clues, but it's not really clear. It doesn't really matter.
Well, and these days, it's not about the answer anymore. It's about asking. Right? I mean, this is where our real ability to cope with whatever it's giving us right now, from their job to dictate
This is a really great cut. I mean, I'm thinking about the original, but this is a really good the way you cut it together. The other one had more like you wanted a different, more solid narrative about this guy's this kind of person. So this was a lot more impactful in terms of impact he has, as opposed to trying to tell this story.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I appreciate the plans. Oh, yeah. Oh, you trying to leave?
You said, I thought you guys met before.
Oh, I've met Riley before. He remembers that's very likely. Well, I mean, well, I'm sure he's happy, but
Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you.
oh, I don't want you to like that.
Well, he sounded great tonight.
I should throw in my compliments to you. Thank you so much.
So you're gonna be up there
maybe come early next time and we practice. We can see if we can whenever that is, so we can
Face away from the building, that's all you saw was grass.
Building that.
Okay. Maybe we add each other on the well, we spent
Where?